Hi, listeners. Thank you for joining today. Today, I'm again with Nicole right now in Chicago, and we have the guest Jay and me. We are in Madrid. So, please, Nicole, introduce Jay because you guys know each other from before.
Yeah, absolutely. So I met Jay when I was living in Madrid through a digital nomad group. And then he decided to just propose his business and how he could help people find jobs in whatever sector, like engineering, coding, and so forth. So he's just going to talk more about how he became an entrepreneur, what really drove him to becoming an entrepreneur, and how he helps people to this day. And you can also talk about your background and why you decided to choose what you did for a living before you became an entrepreneur.
Okay, so Jay, please, now it's your turn. Thank you, Nicole.
Thanks. Thank you, Nicole. Thanks, Mike. So, yeah, I'm really excited to be here. I come originally from Lebanon and moved to the UK in 2013, to study, and started working there. So I worked for 10 years in the tech space, worked in small companies, big companies, corporate, and all that. So I had the diverse experience in the tech space. And then I decided to start my own startup. And it's been quite the journey. I did different things. Initially, I did recruitment marketing, and then later recruitment itself, and then boot camps for developers and coders. And now it landed on helping people find jobs abroad, helping tech people particularly. And this is mainly focused on international students in the UK or experienced developers from abroad who want to find jobs in the UK or Europe. So we work with them to help them understand the job market. The biggest challenge they face is that it's a new environment. They don't know the job market. They don't know the recruitment. So we focus on helping them with that. And that's what I've been doing for the past couple of years now. And it's been going great. It's been a challenge, but it's now going great.
So now I have to ask, what was the challenges to just get the client set or to get it started? I mean,
How much time do you have?
Well, just started.
It's been quite the adventure, life is always full of challenges. The challenges that I've faced are not really business challenges. In business you always have freaking challenges, understanding the business and understanding your market and growing your business and scaling and making money, more importantly, making your business profitable. There's always challenges like this, but for me, my journey has been very intense in terms of adversity, trying to understand myself, discover myself, who I am, and finding the process that works for me when it comes to pursuing my business and pursuing my financial goals. And also facing the personal challenges that life presents to you, maybe losing a family member or going through divorce and things like that. So there's a different range of things that one goes through, and I'd be happy to dive into any of those. For you guys, yeah, you could just tell me what is the more interesting one here.
So I have to stay a bit high level. So I mean, what I understand, what you just said, it was more personal challenges than business challenges, but you are an entrepreneur working for your own. So that's maybe more, not should I have to choose the right word? It's more, has a more influence of your business, because if you have a normal job, then you just do your job, but that's cool. But if you have now your own business and you have these life challenges, then it's more complicated. So that's how I see it. And I have to say this because I'm going to similar or went to similar things. So I can, how's the word again? I have empathy for this because I know how this was for me. I mean, and so then, but it's very personal. I mean, but in a way, only what I can say is you have to focus. I mean, whatever happens, happens. And if that's your goal, then that helped me to just focus and don't let me drag down by all these other things happen.
For sure.
Because that's what I want to do. And yeah, so that's just how I come from, but maybe you have a different take on it.
No, I'm absolutely in agreement with you. The real takeaway from this is that, like, when you're an entrepreneur, your business depends on you directly, right? Like, your business is a direct reflection of you and where you are mentally as well. Like in a job, as you say, total respect for people who do jobs. And I really enjoyed my jobs as well. But you can go out on Friday, get drunk, wasted, like maybe go out partying on the weekend, and then come back on Monday, fuzzy-headed, and you're like, yeah, I'll do mediocre work half-heartedly. That's an Office reference, by the way, Nicole.
Of course, yes.
She wasn't listening. She zoned out. Stay here. So she's like, if you show up to your job and you do like mediocre work, it's like, yeah, you can still get away with it and get to the end of the month and get your salary. But if you're an entrepreneur, you cannot get away with this kind of shenanigans, Like, yeah, I know right now, if I go party in Madrid and come back 5 a.m. tomorrow, I've got like a bunch of clients who are waiting for me to like find them jobs, They could be living with no salary, or they could be living with no money in their pocket for the next week or so. So people literally depend on me. Or, there's people like who are depressed and on the verge of committing suicide if I don't talk to them and show them a way how to find a job. So literally right now, I am in a position that I see that, okay, like this is serious, I can't mess about with my time, because that can have a bigger impact on other people as well.
Yeah, I also want to say something too as well. I understand like the job market's really tough in terms of like finding jobs, because you are competing against like so many people around the world. So these people, they need to find work, they need to make money, they need to support themselves, their family, etc., pay off like their rent, etc. So yeah, it's a really tough job market, and the fact that like you're helping them with this whole socio-emotional aspect is really important, because like you are a job coach, but also you're an advisor, so you're counseling them if they're like having a type of anxiety or depression or anything of that nature. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great point, Nicole. Yeah.
But I have to say something, that would be too much for me. But I'm not the one who chooses that, because that sounds for me like I'm too much in. So again, it's my personal choice, my personal comment. So don't get it wrong. But there has to be also a time to say, okay, I'm working with clients all over the world, but if I hear in another time zone and I want to sleep, then I'm not answering them. So I'm answering the next morning, right? I mean, there has to be also this life-work balance, even you are an entrepreneur, right? Because, I mean, and if I want to go to a party, then I go to the party, but I'm also available the next day, even I maybe have a hangover, but that's how I am, right?
That is absolutely true. Totally agree with you, Mike. Like, it's important for me as an entrepreneur to maintain a healthy social life as well. Like, I'm not bashing like the idea of going to parties. I mean, I still like good party. You can ask Nicole.
Okay, you had a party together. Okay.
We traveled together.
Ease, not just fun. We had a few good times here in Madrid, and I still love that scene. But I was just giving an example of like, right now I'm in a place where my mental focus is very important to me. So I really have to choose where to mess with that, and whether it's worth for me messing with it or not. I mean, I feel like we can't, even if you're a really successful person, like you can't live your life without people and without socializing. Like this is a very important aspect of life. And, one of the best experiences I've had, like, was literally with Nicole. Like, this past summer when we went to Budapest together, that was like an awesome experience because we met so many people and we were just like a bunch of people just touring around and having travels together. So that balance is really important, and it's really important to have boundaries in the business. So for me, yeah, I do have them like 24/7 support because I want to be there for them, but it's not like I'm walking away from things that I have to do, like my family and my social life. Though, if I'm doing that, if I'm committing to that, okay, my work is my work, hey, I'll talk to you tomorrow. But the high level idea of this is like there's potential clients for me out there in the market who are desperate to find jobs, who might be depressed. So if I am not paying attention to my business and growing it, my idea is to grow the business so I can scale more and I can reach more of those people so they don't stay in that situation too long before they get to a level of like really dark place, So the urgency that I have right now is like growing my business to a level where I can actually reach and help those people.
So I have a question. How do you find like these types of candidates? Do you find them through LinkedIn? Do you find them through Reddit, through Facebook? Like, how are you able to like really recruit these people?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the main source for new clients for me right now is LinkedIn, because that's where it's at when it comes to the jobs. Everyone who wants to look for a job, they have to be on LinkedIn, or at least someone tells them, hey, get on LinkedIn.
Yep.
So LinkedIn jobs is really powerful, and that's why people use it a lot, but they don't use it properly. And this is a big thing that we work on in my coaching. But yeah, so we usually get from LinkedIn, most of the people. I do have presence on Facebook and Instagram. I'm trying to grow my Instagram a little bit. But yeah, mainly LinkedIn.
So typically, do you just like reach out to them? Do you just send them a message like, hey, I see like you're a developer, maybe from India, and you want to move to the UK, you have friends or family there. So then you just like really reach out to them, right? So it's just more like a cold, like just like a cold message, not cold calling, but the same thing. Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
cold approach. Yeah, it's literally called cold approach in terms of like lead generation terms.
Yep.
So this is the main method that I have used historically, but there are multiple ways a business or an entrepreneur can get leads, and outreach is one of them, is very powerful. But now we're kind of like going more into the inbound stage. So I have a lot of inbound leads coming into the business. So people just seeing the success stories and the things that I post about, and they start to, reach out to me and ask more about the business. And that's how I sign them up.
And how long did it take you to get like clients and like really successfully like launch this coaching business? From like the start of it, your case study, until like right now, I would say.
You're asking how long it took me from like starting this and until like I've had some success and being able to make money through the business? Right. So for this I've made money in businesses before, right? So like since 2018, I've been able to like go out in the market and sell clients on my business. But it's been on and off throughout this whole time. Like you're not really a real business until you have stability and you've got money for the next 3 months, coming in. So I haven't experienced that in the past 5 years. Now is really the time where I'm experiencing this. Like now, finally, things are clicking for me, and I'm able to see that, okay, we have clients coming in and we've got income for next month and the month after, and we can get more clients in the month coming and the month after. And that's really now where I feel like, yes, this is a business, this is something I can grow, and I want to scale it more.
Okay, perfect. Let's talk about visa issues. For example, like someone wants to move to Europe or the UK. Do you help them sponsor like their work permit or their visa, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we don't get involved in the visa stuff. So for instance, like the UK in particular, for someone to be able to get a visa, the most important thing is getting a job offer, right? Without a job offer, you cannot get a visa. So what I do is I actually just help them get the job offer. The visa stuff and the logistics, they're usually taken care by the company, or even like the person themselves. They might be willing to pay for the visa, and they would get a lawyer, and like get that sorted. So the meat of the whole thing, the juice of the whole thing, is just really finding the job.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. And from there on, everything else just like falls into place, and they're able to move, and that's it.
Yeah.
Do you also help them as well with like orientation? Like, let's say, for example, somebody were to move to, let's say, Spain, right? And they don't really know much about Spain. Do you also like help them kind of orient with different cultures and how to be able to really like navigate like the landscape?
That's an awesome question, Nicole. This is not something that we actively do right now, but this is definitely in the books for me in the future. Like, I want to help, and this is something that we talked about, you and I. Like, you wanted to do something to help people, move countries and get onboarded and get integrate with the culture. And I feel these are things that are very important for my clients as well, because it's like you're moving to a new culture. You want to integrate, you want to be able to build connections. So yeah, right now our focus is purely on the job, because it's like a very pressing matter for them, a very pressing situation. And so, and they don't even have the capacity to think about anything else. Like, if I tell them, hey, what's your 5-year plan? They're like, dude, I just want to get a freaking job right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
but
yeah.
I have a question. So I mean, and these people, you said they might be depressed, or they're really focused to get a job, let's say in the UK. But then again, where they're all coming from, and is this actually now an economic thing to say, okay, I'm from somewhere in the world, but I know I make more money if I go to the UK? Is that's the how this called, the reasoning and the motivation?
Yeah, that's an awesome question, Mike. So, yeah, a lot of people might think that, okay, traveling abroad is about like getting better jobs, better opportunities, and making more money. But I'm finding, as I speak to more and more people, like, those people, they want different things. Initially, I thought it was like about the money. So I was like, hey, I'll help you land a 6-figure job in the UK or in the US, land a 6-figure job. That didn't sell. That business did not succeed. That failed. So the majority of my clients are from India. Okay, maybe 80% of the population of my clients will probably be like from India. But there's people from like, Pakistan, from Afghanistan. We've had people from Lebanon as well. We've got people from, different countries, mainly third world countries. But their main purpose and their main reasoning to do this is they want to get the international work experience. Like, and I'm going to put it in quotes because that's how they're able to express that, but the deep desire is like a better life, better lifestyle, safer environment. They want to establish a place where they want to have a place where they can get international work experience. So better career prospects, but also better life prospects for themselves. Like, if they want to settle, if they want to have a family, have kids, it's a safe environment. It's a good environment to grow a family in. They want all of these things. So it's not just about like better career prospects or money.
Okay, so I have to tell you an example what I have seen in Canada, and I'm still thinking that's going on there. This also, and I understand these people, okay, but there's also the other side of the story, that actually the market becomes more competitive, and also the price is going down. And I have seen this right now. An example in Canada, for some reason, economy is not going well. All these prices and salary going down, and then this becomes not for the people already there, but the competition gets higher for the people who want to come in. I mean, and this is interesting, and I just want to be very neutral about it, but this is the situation, right? Because yes, we know that especially in India, they have a very good education. They speak a kind of English, so they're interesting for this English-speaking market. They're maybe not interesting for when they're asking for German or French skills, right? So then that's where the stream is going. I mean, and I worked in IT consulting, more in cybersecurity, and I have seen this from people from all over the world, right? I have seen the offshore and the onshore, right? And but on the other side, the business took advantage of it because it was easier to hire some people in India offshore because that was cheaper than to bring the people on site, right?
Yeah. This is a great point. Like, you know, the more people will enter a market, the more it's going to become competitive. And this might have an impact on like the quality of the work or like the opportunities that are available. But this is something that's always going to happen. Markets are
Yes.
always going to change. You know, 10 years ago, if you go and say, I want to go to uni, everyone's going to tell you, do computing, do technology. This is what's going to sell. This is the future. It is still kind of true right now, but now there's a lot of developers being laid off, you know, without
Yeah, I
jobs.
saw that too as well.
Yeah,
So
but
the tables have turned. And
and
so
I give you even more bad news because developing is going away because first of all of no coding technology or trend, and then also about artificial intelligence. I mean, you can find so many articles that said we don't need coder anymore. You mean I know someone who said he want to learn Python, and then he said, "Oh, I can get the script from ChatGPT, right?" I mean, at
yeah,
least the skeleton.
yeah,
So I mean, this is, but this is also I'm a bit longer in this whole IT scene, but there's everything a new trend, right? And everything technology involved. And then, so that's what I had to do when I worked as a consultant. I'm still doing or want to do this again. I have to be up to date. I have to be up to date with the latest trends, with the latest thing. But I was never, I mean, I was a developer a long time ago, but I'm more like a solution architect, a consultant to put stuff together, right? So anyway, but I just want to make that point because it interests me also to see what is going on and also the story about digital nomads, right?
yeah,
I mean, I experienced that say people want to hire me or maybe on a contract, but then they said, oh, remote. Yeah, you have to be in the country. You can work remote, but you can't do work remote from anywhere in the world, right? In this kind of
yeah,
thing. And I did a podcast on this in my other series where I said it's all about cybersecurity again, right? Because they don't want to allow maybe if you work for banks or something. I never got that confirmed. But on
yeah,
the other side, if you're talking about IT, I don't think this remote worldwide working is actually working because I have seen it in the US, I've seen it in Canada, so that the people want them in the country at least, right? And
yeah,
then
yeah,
also, then the newest is now that they're going out to hybrid mode. Oh, you have to come 2 or 3 times somewhere.
yeah,
But on the
yeah.
other side, these jobs are based in the centers like in the big cities. And you know how difficult it is to get actually an apartment or something? That's another story, but what your
Yeah.
clients were coming through. If they're coming to London, good luck to find a place to stay, right?
So that's the thing. So these are two separate things. Like when it comes to jobs and working in big cities, like okay, it's down to the person, like whether they can do that. We still have like 10 minutes. And I want to share my view on this
Yes,
and
please.
hand over to Nicole to hear her opinion.
Mhm.
But for me, and I would love to do like a further more episodes on this because we're going into deep,
No,
intricate
no, no, no,
subjects
no.
here.
But by the
Yeah,
way, we just make the break and we continue. Okay, don't worry.
yeah. So this is becoming more of a philosophical discussion as well, because you said, like, hey, with AI and GPT, a lot of these jobs are becoming obsolete. And I'll give you an even higher level. Elon Musk was saying like the other day, like there will be a point in time where no job is useful. Like no one, now it's about tech. but it's going to become more and more AI and more machines are going to be able to start to do more. Everyone else's jobs are going to be threatened. So this begs the question, like, okay, so why the hell are we doing any of this, you know? And that's, you know, he said, okay, people are going to start to search for meaning in life. And the way I look at it, like as an entrepreneur, and, you know, to the audience of this podcast, it's like, if you want to future-proof yourself, the way I do it is by solving problems for people. And you said, you know, companies are asking for people to come back to office. They want the human connection. They want the human touch because they see an importance in that. And that is very important. And people will start to realize more and more how important this is. Yes, we all want to have our freedom. We all want to be able to travel, and that's great. But also we need the human touch. And the people who are going to survive this, and the businesses who are going to survive the evolution of AI, are the businesses who truly solve problems for people. So the way I look at it in my business, I'm not in the business of finding jobs for people. I'm in the business of saving lives of people. I'm in the business of giving people a better future. And for me, people are always going to want to have a better future. I don't care what it is. They always want to get a better job, better career, better love life, or whatever. You know, I'm not a dating coach, but all of these things impact their life, you know.
Okay.
So they're always
Good
going to want
joke.
those better things. And for
Good
me,
jokes.
if I'm able to do that for them, right, I'm going to be future proof. And there's no AI that's going to be able to replace me.
Yeah, that's true, right? So it was interesting you talked about the human touch. When I was living in Thailand and I was also working as an online English teacher and then tutor online, there are so many like digital nomad like cafes you can go to like meet people when you're working at a cafe. So I feel like people also like don't know about that, or maybe they just like don't think about it that much. But there are so many different ways like meet digital nomads, like in Madrid, I'm sure like in other places too as well, Mexico City when I was living there. So I know they want their like people to go back to the office, but sometimes people may live too far away from like the office. Think about like the commute, they have to spend money on gas. It's just so much easier to like work from home. You get your work done, that's it. And I was working remotely part-time when I was a graduate student in Spain, and I was able to just do it remotely from a different country, got my work done, and that's it, you know? So maybe a lot of these companies are very much like old-fashioned a way where they want everyone to like be in an office setting, but some people don't want to be in an office setting, right? It depends on people's like preferences and how they work as well. So that's really important to like really note. And taxes are a big thing in the USA. They don't know if they could be able to like let people work remotely because of the tax situation. So people can either become 1099s, but it's a complicated matter for sure. And along with like using routers, they could check like your IP address. So there's just a lot, you know, that goes into it. That's all.
No, well, what I want to say from the human touch, then I have to say during the time of COVID, yes, we don't have face-to-face so much, but we still had a human touch via video conferences. And I still want to make that point that the human touch is not only with face-to-face. Yes, it's different maybe, but the human touch was also if you just do a video conference, and we was forced to do it that way, right? So, but that's
Exactly.
again, just a point for me, right?
Yeah, that's a philosophical question because
Yes, it is.
I would ask like, okay, yeah, this comes down to how you define the human touch. Because to me personally, would I want to grow my business like always working online? Yeah, my business is remote first, and all of my work is online with my clients, but I don't want to do this forever. I still want a human touch with my clients. I want to see them face to face. That's what I mean by a human touch. Yeah, there's a human touch. Also, there's another aspect to the human touch is where like, you know, instead of automating all of your business and like using AI to reach out to your clients and convert them into sales, you do it yourself. That's also a human touch. But the extreme of this is like, can you actually have babies via video conference, you know?
No, you
Can you-
can't. But
Yeah.
but you're going in a different topic. You
Yeah,
get
so
into
that,
dating,
but
okay.
I wanted to touch on that, you know, because like how
Okay.
far can video conference replace the human touch? You know,
We will
that's
be talking about work, Jay. Come on, but I get your point. I get your point. Okay. But maybe before we end it here, maybe you can mention your company, where they can find it. You mentioned LinkedIn, you mentioned Instagram and Facebook, so we can promote your services, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. So on LinkedIn, people can find me at Jawad Sabra. So they could just like look that up. And the easiest way to find me, like if someone is listening, it's jsabra.com. That's my website. So JSABRA.com. And they can find my LinkedIn, my Facebook, all my social media are there as well. I'm also on Instagram, same thing, the same name, J Sabra. So either Jawad Sabra on LinkedIn, J Sabra on Instagram, and yeah, jsabra.com is the website.
Perfect. So we have it recorded. I will put it then in the podcast description. And so anything for the conclusion of this. So first I have to say thank you again. And was very interesting, and we should do another one to dive deeper. We just get started.
I would love that. I would love that. Thank you both for the opportunity, and I really enjoyed this conversation. And I would love to set up follow-up chats and maybe perhaps decide on the topic. Like maybe we can unpack a little bit on, okay, what's the future of work with the rise of AI?
Yes,
or
yes,
getting
definitely.
getting back to the office. What do you think about this? Is it good? Is it bad? Yeah, I would love to
also talk about why you became an entrepreneur too as well. Like what made you decide to quit your job, you know, as a developer, into why you did it. Because people want to know if they want to create a business, like how do they start, right? It's the journey. It's basically story. It's basically power storytelling. That's what it is.
I would love to dive into that for sure. I'd be more than happy to share my journey. Absolutely.
Yeah, we keep in touch, and then let's do it. And thank you again for taking the time. Thank you, listeners. And we just started.
There you
Just
go.
getting started, yeah?
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you
Bye.
very much for everything. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.